Welcome into SportBet Extra. I'm your host, Paul Rami, here every Tuesday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. We got a great show for you today, November 18th, 2025. It is a Tuesday. We're going to recap quickly what happened over the weekend. Then we're going to get into some college basketball for tonight. Then we're going to get into a little bit of NBA, not spend a lot of time there. We got a great show for today. I know there were some issues on X this morning, so hopefully we're good to go and here live. But if not, we are here on YouTube at Paul Rami, as always, and then at X at Paul Rami. You can see both up top there. So let's get into today's show. So on Friday, I did put up my overall record. I want to do the same thing again here, to be completely transparent. This weekend was pretty much an even weekend. I think we lost a total of maybe 1 unit or half unit this weekend. Yesterday, we ended up bouncing back a little bit. So here we are currently plus 9.81 units there. Let me remove that banner so we can all see below. College football, we are struggling. That's just what it is. There's no hiding behind it. 3-10-1 there in college football. However, NBA and college basketball are making up for it. So what I would recommend in the time being, if you're looking at my plays here, you're subscribing, maybe just take my basketball plays. Don't worry about football until that improves. But here we are currently 15-7 on the season in NBA, 22-15 on the season in college basketball. NFL 7-6 in college football, 3-10-1. So not the best. However, yesterday, again, we did have a great day. We did go 3-1. Last night, the 76ers and the Clippers, they got us down there sweaty at the end. We kept that game under 220.5, and it landed on 218. So we just get by there on that NBA game that we had our total on. Going into college basketball, 2 winners, Lemoyne, they went outright as a very small underdog, minus 103 there. And then VCU, they kept it close against NC State with their defense. So we get 3 wins there. Our loss was Kansas State, shot a putrid 21% three-point shooting. That's just not going to do it. You're not going to get anywhere shooting like that. I mean, the Wildcats, they were ranked first in the nation in three-point shooting prior to this game. When you shoot 21% from three after being best in the nation, yeah, that's just not a recipe for a win. So they do squeak by, but they don't cover. So anyways, we lose that one. We go 3-1 yesterday in college basketball and the NBA. Let's talk about what happened this weekend. What a fun Saturday for college football. My number one ranked team in my standings, A&M. What a comeback. Being down 30-3 at halftime. That was just man, that was tough. And they ended up coming back, winning that one 31-3. What incredible. Now, they're not going to be able to do that against other teams. You won't be able to do that against Indiana or Ohio State or Alabama, Georgia, those teams. You won't be able to do that. So that, seeing that is kind of worrisome, but they still they pulled off. They hang on. They're still up there in the top 10 with no problem. Georgia, they handled business against Texas and dropped them significantly in the CFP. So now they're in danger and risk of not even making it. Oklahoma, massive road win there against Alabama. They vault them into the CFP discussion now, and Alabama gets knocked down a few spots. So tomorrow I am going to go over my college football top 10, see where those teams have moved up or down, because there will definitely be some movement there. And on Sunday, great games in the NFL on Sunday. We kept our Broncos Super Bowl ticket alive there, 22-1. I really thought the Chiefs were actually going to win and cover there. It just kind of felt like a spot like, man, the Broncos, they've been pulling out these really close games. There's going to be one now against the Chiefs where they're just going to get blown out. But no, they pull it off. They win it. I'm riding with this Broncos team all the way down to the end. 22-1 ticket there. I really hope they can pull that off. And then what else do we have here? Let me go ahead and get that record out of the way. For those of you that did tune in throughout the week, it happened almost just like we called it. Shedeur Sanders. I talked about it a couple weeks back, saying, hey, here's what they're going to do. Browns on the bye week, give Gabriel the time to go against the Jets. They play against the Jets, give him another week against the Ravens. If he doesn't do well against the Ravens, put Shedeur in against the Raiders. We're one half early, right? As the Browns decided to go ahead and put Shedeur in the second half there of that Ravens game. So we were close, but almost like we called it there. Shedeur is, and we'll see how he does now, because I'm going to presume that he's going to be the starter for the next game. Giants played carefree, just like we thought, with nothing to lose, but they don't get the cover. They land right on that number of that 7. So if anyone had that, you got to push. Cowboys last night, they finally looked like a team they were expected to be with the Pickens addition. Offensively, they looked good, but against the Raiders, that's not saying a lot. You're playing against the Raiders, so again, it's a great showing, but let's play a real defense. We'll talk more NFL this weekend. As for Saturday, we will have a Saturday show with a guest on the show, Bearded Baker Betts. He will be here Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Central Time. We've got a show, so 9 Eastern, 8 Central gets you in plenty of time for college football to break that down, and then talk about a little bit of NFL as well for the next day. Let's get into today's action with the time that we do have left here. We've got quite a bit of games in college basketball. We'll talk about that. But actually, before we do, there's one thing I do want to bring up. The NBA betting strategy that I've talked about. So this one, as I've mentioned, it works where when a team is playing another team on a back-to-back, just take the other side from what happened on the first game. So currently on the season, with using that strategy, you'd be looking at a 6-2 record. Not bad there, 75%. I'll take 75% win rate all day throughout the whole season. We had the first one there, Celtics and the Magic, when that one happened November 9th. That one was a winner. Bucks Hornets, that one just happened the other day, went to overtime and it covered. We got there's a win there. Bulls Knicks. Last night we did have a play in the NBA strategy. However, we did not give it out as one of our plays. It was a Heat and the Knicks. The Heat there minus 1.5 point favorites, and they win 115-113. They cover that spread when they lost the game before to the Knicks 140-132. So just keep an eye on that. I'm going to be tracking that all season. Again, 75% win rate right now. That's wonderful. We did lose one over the weekend. We had the Warriors Spurs, but that's the way it goes. You don't win them all. Now we can get into our college basketball action. Quite a few games today. Quite a few. A couple that we are going to pay attention to. Number 17, Michigan State at 12, Kentucky. Kentucky laying the 4.5 there. This is the State Farm Champions Classic. This is happening in Madison Square Garden, so neither team here at home, both of them on the road. Michigan State, they're going to be a tough team to bet against no matter what part of the season it is, as long as Tom Izzo's coaching. With Tom Izzo there, you can't ever rule this team out. Got a core group of returning players. Michigan State, they're going to be a very tough out this year in the tournament. With Jackson Kohler, he's taking a leap this year by improving his game. He's really going to make it difficult in the interior for Kentucky. It feels sort of similar to that Purdue and Alabama game that happened last week, where we said that, the rebounding in the interior for one team against the three-point shooting for the other. Well, we've got that same scenario here. Michigan State, they're going to get the rebounding. They're going to control the interior. And then you've got on the other side, Kentucky, who would love to just put up threes and score that way all game. Michigan State's goal here is going to be to control the pace and play a half-court game and not allow Kentucky to get out into transition where they excel. So with experienced guards, I do expect Michigan State to control this game. But if Kentucky, if they're able to knock down perimeter shots, then it will be a long game for the Spartans as they can't play catch up. They're only shooting 21% from three so far this season. That's good for dead last in the nation. They're 21% from three. You're not going to win a lot of games like that. So let's just say if they're not hitting some of those tonight, or if they get behind early, it's going to be very tough. So Michigan State, they will look to control the game. They want to go at their pace. So will they be able to do it? That's going to be the question. We'll see here tonight. Probably not going to have any action on this game, but definitely will be watching. Earlier tip-off for that one too, 5:30 Central Time. Let's go to number 24, Kansas. Number 5, Duke. This game will be happening directly after there in Madison Square Garden, State Farm's Champion Classic. Duke laying the 10.5. Next game, sorry about that. Unfortunately, with this game, it's not going to be as competitive as we hoped, as Kansas's leading scorer and phenom freshman Darren Peterson, he's out. He's been dealing with a hamstring injury. This game is really going to be all about Badunga on the inside. And Cam Boozer. Mixed his name up there. Cam Boozer's strength is just going to be a little bit too much for Kansas as this game goes on. You're asking Kansas to keep up with the scoring, which they're not going to have in Darren Peterson. I mean, Bryson Tiller for Kansas, you're asking him to do a lot more than what he's used to. I just don't think they're going to be up for that task, especially with Peterson out. I would lean Duke here. I just think they're going to be too much physically for Kansas. That Duke team is. I would lean Duke. However, I'm not going to have any action or any plays on this game tonight. This will be another one that we're just going to sit back, enjoy, and watch. Next one we're going to get to before we kind of cut this show short today and get into the NBA. Let's talk East Carolina at UNC Wilmington. UNC Wilmington laying the 6.5. Now, ECU, they made changes in the offseason with incoming freshmen and transfers. Big man Giovanni Emejuru from Siena. He's already made a huge impact for this team, leading in points and rebounds for the Pirates. They had 7 returning players, with one of those being their leading scorer, Jordan Riley. Now, he did miss the last game due to illness, which was 10 days ago. That was the last time he played. So he should be back tonight to help his team with the scoring, because they're definitely going to need it against UNC Wilmington. ECU, they don't do a lot of things great, but where they will really struggle tonight is the turnovers, as they're near the bottom of the nation in turnovers with about 15 per game that they're averaging. UNC Wilmington, they're going to exploit that all over with their guard play. Nolan Hodge, Noah Ross, Greedy Williams, they all returned from last year's team. These guys are some good guards that this team has. Lengthy guards, too. They're just going to be a problem for ECU. They're going to cause them to struggle with getting up shots. With the additions that the Seahawks made in the offseason, I really think they're going to be a tough team to compete against in the CAA this year. I like UNC Wilmington here, even at this number, the 6.5. We're not going to dive deep into the other games, but we will just kind of browse and scroll through. We do have Presbyterian at Cal laying the 22.5. I do expect them to bounce back in a big way here. Idaho State, Santa Clara laying 16.5. I'm high on Santa Clara this year. I would not think twice about laying this number. If you lay it, I wouldn't have any issue with that either. Southeast Missouri State at Iowa laying the 24.5. Iowa handled business against Xavier. We talked about them before. Again, Xavier, we are not high on. I would expect Iowa to continue to handle business in this game here, as they've got a really good, strong core group of players there. Winthrop at Arkansas laying 22.5. I would be careful laying the number with the Arkansas team here, as Winthrop, they've shown they can score this season, so they may keep it competitive this game. Navy at North Carolina laying the 26.5. Again, 4-0. They haven't really had that big of a test. I mean, yeah, Kansas, but they handled them fairly easily. I would have no problem laying that number with North Carolina here against Navy. Not a lot of other ones that we're going to deep dive and really talk about. Ryder at Texas. I mean, Texas again, I would lay the 30.5. We had that the other day. One there. Maybe Washington against Southern. I don't know if I would lay that, but probably with Washington. That's really it, though, for the college basketball slate tonight, which I will give out my pick for here at the end of the show. So big slate, college basketball, a lot of plays tonight. Small selection in the NBA tonight. Again, for anyone paying attention, the Celtics and the Nets, they do play tonight. So whatever happens with this game, we will be having a play on Friday using the betting strategy. Again, that is a hit rate of 75%. We'll be tracking that all season. Let's see if we can get another win there on Friday with this game that we're going to give out. We'll see what happens tonight in that game. Warriors at Magic plus 3.5. With Banchero out, I really wouldn't look too much at getting involved with this game. Looking at the Pistons and the Hawks there plus 1.5. You know, they look good with the absence of Trae Young, winning 5 straight games on the road. This could, however, be one of those sleepy spots for them coming back home after that long road trip, as they're home for one game, then back on the road. But there's just too many injuries on both sides here that are unknown. So we really won't be getting involved with this game. I think this is going to be one of those that we just kind of sit back and see how it plays out. The rest of the games, I really have no opinion on those. There's nothing great that I'm finding, no spots that we're really liking in the NBA. Besides one of the later games, maybe the Blazers, we might have something on that one. Again, really small NBA card. Let's get into the free play for the day before we do close out this show. Like we talked about, going to be kind of a quick show today, having some issues there on X. So we're going to try and, hopefully get everything figured out. Before the play of today, again, I will be using Profit X. I'm going to continue to use Profit X. They've got the best lines that I've seen. So let's get into college basketball. Let's go find where we've got UNC Wilmington, ECU Pirates. We're going to be laying the points there with UNC Wilmington. Just want to make sure I've got the right number here. I'm looking at a 6.5 at minus 109. So UNC Wilmington minus 6.5, minus 109 on Profit X. Again, go sign up on Profit X. Use the code Paul Rami. Get you 20% extra there on your $100 purchase. A nice little $20 cash there that you can get. We're going UNC Wilmington minus 6.5 there. That's the free play. Again, sportbetextra.com. Go subscribe. Go get a 1-week trial. Then after that, get your week package, monthly package, 3-month package. You're going to get the rest of my plays. I will have about three other plays for tonight that I'm already looking at that will be sent out once the show is over. So go subscribe there. Again, follow me on X at Paul Rami and YouTube at Paul Rami. Tomorrow, I will be going over again my college football top 10. Also get into some action for the night. And then on Saturday, again, we do have a Saturday show, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. Bearded Baker Bets will be on with us. I will see you guys tomorrow, 11 Eastern, 10 o'clock Central. See you then.